I go first? It's if you have something pressing, my dear, go. And I mean, whatever.
I do have to be done a few minutes before 1, so.
Do it. Let's do it, girl. What's coming up?
I don't know. I mean, I know I left you quite a lengthy box on this.
I responded, and we can talk through that if you want.
Yeah, I listened to it.
Which one? The one like I just sent 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. We're on the same page.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know what to talk. Yeah, I'm not having big feelings right now, so.
Not having big feelings or good feelings?
Big.
Big, okay.
Like I don't have any, like I'm like, okay. Because I like totally agree with everything you said. But yeah, I guess so. Kelly's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, well, which part do you want to focus on? Because there are a few different elements there. Do you want to focus on the friendship piece, the forgiveness piece? I mean, it all kind of rolls into one.
I don't know, maybe the friendship piece, because that's the part I struggle with the most.
Yeah.
So I feel, just in summary, Kelly, I feel like I think I would do this anyway, or I tend to do this anyway, but I don't think COVID's helping because we kind of are like stuck or can feel stuck like in our homes or whatever. But sometimes I just really I feel really connected with my friends and stuff. And then other times I just don't. And to the point where I feel like I'm almost being like we don't even remember you anymore. Which I don't think is, I mean, I don't think that, but like, I don't know how to really describe it, but kind of like you're not near the top of the list at this point.
You think that they think that, or do you think that about other people?
No, I think that they think that.
Okay. So
I don't think that's intellectually, I don't think that's probably true.
Right.
But that's what I feel.
Okay. Why?
Sorry, the desk that I have is uneven, so it keeps moving back.
We're on a boat.
Yeah, feels like that. I think it's my own doing, honestly. I think that I'm somehow disconnecting myself from people.
Mm-hmm.
And then, which sometimes, I think we all kind of need to do that from time to time. Yeah. But then I don't end up liking the result of that, or it's okay, well, you did that and now you're kind of,
give me an example of like what you did. Like when you said you did that, is it just you not calling people, you not showing up? Like what is it?
Yeah, mostly just like me not reaching out or just kind of being like, I don't really want to, I don't say I don't want to be, I mean, because I do now. I guess I went through a period of time where I'm like, I just need to kind of be alone right now. Like, and I don't really want to be with people necessarily, or like reach out and make those connections to do that, just have some quiet time. But now I feel, when I do that though, like at the end, I feel like, okay, well, now this doesn't feel very good. So
I'm wondering because I'm picking up on a fear of connection to others, like a fear of deeply connecting to others, a fear of mattering to others.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
In order to ensure that you never have to feel that way, you disconnect yourself first.
Yes, that is, yes.
Which is like that self-protection mechanism that you were saying, right? Like you feel like because it's kind of like, let's boil this down to super simple. I'm not good. And so because I already know I'm not good, I'm not going to go out there and have people confirm for me that I'm not good, because that will reiterate it for me and I already know it. So why bother?
You kind of summed up my life right there. So that was good.
Full circle there. So
you're really good at that.
do what I do. Found my calling, friends. Which is crap, right?
Yes.
Like, let's just call that what it is. And also, really understandable too, right? So like, let's just call the lies that we've been carrying around with ourselves and telling ourselves what they are. They're BS. And also the conditioning and the patterning that has that so ingrained in you is real. And so that's where the self-compassion piece comes in. And we say, okay, this isn't even actually a thing. Like, I want to be connected to people, and I'm a person worthy of being connected to.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree.
That's the piece. I'm a person worthy of being connected to.
Okay.
So let's start from the beginning again. What would it feel like? Because, well, actually, hold on, pause that, because I'm going to jump ahead here. Because, and then what you do, if you don't reach out to people and they don't reach out to you, it confirms see, they don't want to be connected to me anyway. But let's remember that what I said in the box, what we put our attention on expands. So if we're going to put our attention onto staying disconnected from people, then energetically there's a wall that you're putting up anyway. And of course they can't. Of course they can't break through the wall.
Yeah. I was sitting at my desk just a little bit ago thinking, and it hit me, which I should know anyway, but to be reminded every once in a while, like, I'm like, if I want to be connected, then I need to connect, and I need to put that out in the universe and call that in.
That's exactly right.
Like, that starts with me.
That's exactly right. And it goes back to, we've got to be the friend to ourselves that we want to, that we hope for, right? Like, we've got to mother ourselves the way we wish we were mothered. We've got to friend ourselves the way we wish we were friended. We've got to love ourselves the way that we wish that we were loved. So we've got to do that for us first, and then turn it around and share that overflowing abundant love with others and be a friend to them. So first step is being a friend to yourself. Second step is being a friend to others. Third step is being willing to receive their friendship back in return.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, in the first step, when you allow yourself to receive your own friendship, that's when the energetic doors become unlocked from the rest of the world. So then while you are putting out that second step, that be a friend to others, it's a simultaneous exchange, because now they know you're ready for their friendship because you're willing to put it out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so much, Marianne, like, I want you to know that, like, every defense mechanism you've thrown up, every assumption you've made doesn't make you wrong or bad. It's how you've protected yourself because of your fear of not being loved. It's really smart, right? Like, our fears are very smart, and they do keep us safe for a long period of time until, and you said it so beautifully, like, you disconnect, and then at the end of the day, you're like, I don't even want to be disconnected. Like, it doesn't feel good. Like, yes, we all need our quiet time and our space, but like, if every time you're like, oh, I do this, and seriously, like, it sucks, I don't even want to do this, I don't even know why I'm doing it, that's your true self coming out and saying, oh, hey, ego, I see what you've done and I appreciate it, but like, I'm over you in this area of my life. I'm ready to friend myself. I'm ready to be a friend, and I'm ready to receive friendship. Like, no more invisible blockade energy style for people coming in.
Yeah.
And also, this is the next part. It's like manifesting, right? Like we always say we want to manifest $5 million. And so what we do is like, well, I better hurry up and start thinking positively and get in a good space so that I can receive. And it's like we think that we need to change how we act now so that we can manifest in the future. We forget that if we actually just get in a good space and we actually just have fun, the journey toward the $5 million is actually going to be really fun, as opposed to that grippy, oh my gosh, I better put on a smile so that I can call it in. That doesn't work. So same thing with friendship, right? And same thing with what you're saying. Like, part of you has been so defensive, like, well, why don't people reach out to me? And why? Well, I just assume that they're not going to want to hang out with me anyway. And what I'm trying to inject here is, if you do the work of showing up and being a friend to them, it's not even going to matter who does or doesn't reach out to who, because it's just going to feel fun. There's that word of fun again.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Did I describe that well enough? That's a tricky one to describe, but I think I got it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
What feels like a good next step for you?
I think like I have about three specific people that I just need to reach out to and connect with. So
Oh, awesome.
I need to do that.
And can I say, before you do that, get yourself in a feel good place. Like, just within you, like, okay, like I got to reach out to them because I said I would. Like, that's not going to cut it. Like, oh my gosh, I'm really excited to connect with this person again. And just like, bringing them sunshine. Marianne, I can't even tell you how many times you have said to me, like, when I smile at people, it just brightens up their whole day. So go bring them sunshine, right? And allow yourself to receive whatever you're meant to receive throughout the process during it.
Yeah. I think that's definitely the hardest part for me, is not doing it so much as just like actually accepting what comes back.
Yeah. And feeling it, right?
Yeah.
It's like what we talked about with forgiveness. Like, we can metaphorically talk about forgiveness all damn day, but like the act of actually allowing yourself to feel the freedom that comes as you forgive, that's a whole different ballgame. And that's what changes things, right? You could sit down and meditate for 20 minutes and like be there and then like not feel any different when you get up. Or you could sit down and meditate and be there and sink into it and just really feel your breath throughout the process. There's the surface level stuff of doing it, and then there's the deeper level stuff of doing it. The deeper level is harder. It requires more concentration. It requires more devotion. It requires more like attention and like, okay, I don't want to just think about the thing. I want to feel the thing too. But once you do that, it actually speeds up the process.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you can do that.
Okay. That's what I'll do.
Good work. Hi, Tiff. I see you. Or I don't see you.
Hi.
Hi. Marianne, do you need anything else?
I think I'm good.
Okay, good. Box me with residual stuff. If something comes up before you gotta split, then I know. Isn't that so sweet? Good. A little cat nap like this, like that was, you guys know, like there's a difference between like I'm tired cry and like I'm angry tired cry, and he was angry tired cry, which we've been able to avoid most of this sleep teaching, but we went for a big Pokemon walk this morning, so overextended, huh? Okay, Kel, are you up? Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it. Let me know if Wally playing with his farm is too loud, and I'll move to another spot. I have one more room I can get to.
Totally fine.
So like I feel, not even just with it being the full moon, but just like my life just now is just like the big emotions all the time. So I feel like super excitement because I can see that I'm in what I've been like working for. And I just got back from vacation and had an amazing campsite spot that had like this little trail down to a giant oak tree on the water with the full moon in front of me, like, you know, coming into the full moon, like super connected, camping trip, lots of clarity in what the programs are now that I offer. So like really like great excitement around all of that. And then the storytelling content post stuff is still getting me. Like I'm finding that it's like I can tell I'm overthinking things and I can tell that it's still fear, but like I think that I'm over it because I want like I can see how my style is changing and becoming more authentic. And
Okay. I just got a visual.
yeah.
You being the road runner, you know, like when the road runner's legs like are just like going, and it's not moving yet. And
Yeah.
that's how I see you right now. And so and before you even started talking, you were on like word 6. And I was like, I already know what the first level of coaching is going to be like the first thing that I'm going to say, because I could just read your energy.
Okay.
Just a reminder, and this
Yeah.
was still is one of the most returned to pieces of coaching I have ever received, and I constantly go back to here, but it's don't compare your future self
Mm-hmm.
with your current self, right? Be where your feet are. Like, sure, girl, like get those feet cranking, like get ready to run, but don't be frustrated if you're not moving as fast as those swirly wheels can carry you just yet.
And I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I think it's the storytelling piece. I'm excited to get that book that you recommended,
Yeah.
because I can see where my story is so relevant to how my style is shifting and how I'm connecting with the teens. I've never really shared my story, so like
Right.
to share it for the first time on social media is like
Yeah.
okay, it's intimidating.
Okay, I'm coming in with the second piece now. I feel like an airplane, like I'm circling you and I'm like coming into land at different points. So
Yeah.
the next point is you're ready.
Yeah.
There may be pieces that you're like, I don't know, but you're mostly ready to share bits and pieces because you do feel like it would be helpful. You feel like it would be relevant. You feel like it's really going to connect with people, but you're worried about doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're worried that because you don't have the book yet, you don't have the formula yet, you're going to do it wrong.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So do you see it? Like, yay, Cal, now we know the patterns. Now we know the go-tos. It's kind of like what we were just talking about with Marianne. Like, gosh, like when we can look at how long we've been thinking things or like defending ourselves against the world in a certain way, but we don't have to do that. It's frustrating because you're like, didn't I learn this yet? But it's like, no, we've got to keep learning this over and over and over. You've spent 30 something years learning that the way you do things is wrong, especially if you see other people doing it differently.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's going to take more than about 18 seconds to learn how to do it in a way that really feels good to you. And you know what that's going to require is trying it, falling flat on your face, trying it and nailing it, and everywhere in between. So yes, that book is going to be so freaking helpful. The conversations we've had around storytelling, because we've started to dive into that a little bit, super helpful. And also, Indra Hall is not going to come knock down your door because you told a story on Facebook wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to come egg your house because you missed a component of storytelling, right? It's kind of like this is the point, and this is why you feel so frustrated because it's welling up inside you, and like the legs are running, you're ready to go, but you feel stuck because you're going to do it wrong if you take that first step. So the formula to that, right? You like that use of word. The formula to that is make sure, and it's what we talk about over and over, and you usually get really, really good at. It's making darn sure that you do something uplifting and fun and you are laughing and then sitting down at your computer. And I would say, Kel, especially with storytelling, do not expect yourself to be able to chug out 7 stories the first time you're sitting down, especially if you've never written one.
Right.
So let's just slow the Roadrunner's expectation down. You don't have to slow the legs down. You can cruise. You can churn out stuff. But maybe the level of expectation that you're going to write the next like breakthrough autobiography, let's just chill that out a little bit and start somewhere, because there are a million stories. Remember we talked about like you came up with themes of stories that you wanted to tell, and there are a million stories within those themes. Start there. Pick one night or one incident, one memory, that and write it as if you were just going to tell me about it. I remember there was this time that this guy wanted me to try this thing and I felt pressured and I had to try it, and this is what happened afterwards. One story, and then loop it back around to, have you ever felt this? This is what I support people with. And truthfully, not all story posts need to have a call to action. You got to follow what you feel on that. What do you have coming up that you are like trying to like chug out a bunch of stuff and your inner being's like, nope, not yet? Like, what do you have coming up that you really want to get posts out there for?
I feel like there's just such clarity on what the programs are now. Like the last 6 months has been figuring out what they really do, and what they are. And I feel like it's solid. Like I get it. I've eliminated a bunch. It's simple. Like keep it simple, Kelly.
Another theme.
Stop doing it. And so like there's excitement over the clarity that I have, and I can see that like once the posts are out there, my peeps are home.
I mean, that's, even to me, that's a story. Huh, what do you think? Look at Matt. He still has his sleep sack on. Like I didn't even bother to take him out of that. I was just like, all right, you're coming with me. So
yeah. What was that last question you had?
Even that's a story. Like you can just say, you know what? Like I am so excited. I'm so grateful for the people that have taken this program up to this point. They've taught me so much. And now I just have so much clarity around what I teach, right? That's kind of a talking to people a little bit, but there's story in that. So like you can find story in anything.
Okay.
Tell me like what's one area that you feel super clear on about the program?
That like I figured out that there are 3 branches to the business.
Yep.
And my branch is the energy piece.
Yep.
So there's the My Heart Academy, which I see it as like connecting to the moon, knowing the chakras, and like masculine and feminine energy. That's like what I want to introduce them to, because the kids, it's not taught. Like they don't know it. So it's just like the introductory stuff of those things for the My Heart Academy.
Okay.
And then
I have a story for you.
Go.
I remember it was it January or February? I was sitting in a crystal shop in Portland, Maine, and my intuitive life coach was leading me through a guided visualization. I'd experienced them before, but there was nothing quite like this one, because as I came out of it, I realized that I felt free from the expectations of certain family members that had been bogging me down my whole life. It's a story. You shared where you were, you shared what you were doing, you shared the fact that before this meditation, I felt bogged down by a family member. I felt, you don't even have to say family member if you don't even want to get that specific, but I felt bogged down, or I felt like I was always triggered. Speaking their language, I was always on edge. Like what would they say, right? I felt I was always on edge around this person. And because of, do you feel better? You like when I talk about the moon, huh? Because of this meditation on this night, because I was committed to it, I freed something in me that had been keeping me captive for forever. So you shared what was happening before. You shared the moment that things changed, and you shared how you felt afterwards. If you can get those 3 elements down, you're going to nail it. It's like the transformation. It's the before and after. This is what it was like before. This was the inciting incident, or this was a serendipitous incident, or this was the moment that things changed. And this is how I feel now afterwards. Oh, thank you. Good thing we have another one of these, huh? So then you can, and then Cal, oh my gosh, you could say something like, and it was after that meditation that I realized how important this was to add to my program. Right? Like it was that I had a life-changing experience, and I also knew that kids will have a life-changing experience if they start to integrate meditation into their life. Boom. That is like the perfect segue. So if you're ready to join My Heart Academy and have these life-changing meditations, click here. Talk to me, right? Send me the message, whatever the call to action will be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Questions?
I like where you're starting the flow of storytelling, because I think I was trying to go smaller bites, please. Yeah, chew and swallow bites. A couple more minutes. I'll be with you in just a couple more seconds. You can turn towards the other direction. I'm in a thought, and I'm going to direct it over here, and you're going to go back over there. Love you bunches. Happy to give you some when I'm done. I like where
I'm going with storytelling.
I like where you're starting with the storytelling, because I feel like I was trying to go to the
beginning,
secret storytelling that nobody knows.
Right. Yeah, there's time and place for those, but you don't have to. Everything is a story. Think about how many stories you tell your kids every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, it doesn't have to be. We get caught up in this space of online thing, like people always telling you, like, be vulnerable, share the stuff. And it's like, yes, okay, when that's applicable, but not all. I'm not inviting, but also, all right, hang on. Can we get the thoughts straight, please? On one hand, yes, super helpful to be willing to be vulnerable. And also, I would consider it pretty vulnerable that you said, like, I went to this meditation. You could say, I felt really lost beforehand. That's a vulnerable statement. But I went here and I feel better, right? It helped me to release something that I've been holding on to for a really long time. It's pretty vulnerable. You don't have to say, Dad did this, and then this happened when I was 6, and then Mom did this, and then this happened when I was 12. And like, you don't have to share any of that. And that's too much for one Facebook post anyway. Mm-hmm. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like there is some point where I guess I'm getting worried at the point of when those will be shared, because I think that that's the connector piece of me to the team.
Yeah. You know what though? You got to start the energetic process somewhere, and starting it there isn't supportive of you and your journey. I get that you want to be the coach when you're writing, but this is your journey and you need to be supportive of your own transformation as you're sharing too. So if you just tried to dive in that would with like the big thing, right? Or the 5 big things and tell a story about it to all of the world, like that, it's too much at first. And I'm saying that directly to you. There are some people, fine, you can share the big story, but like, because I know you so intimately and I know how much work you've done around what you've done work around, for you, you're also simultaneously not only having to work through the coaching that you've gone through for the healing of those things, but also the coaching of keep it simple, Kelly, right? Be where your feet are, Kelly. Trust yourself with this, Kelly. So it's the and both with everything. That's the coolest part about being a coach, is that you're giving yourself permission to share your evolution so that it supports people. But even the way you share it, how you share it, when you share it, that's part of your evolution as well. You're healing all sorts of things. Some of them are the deep, deep, deep family wounds. Some of them are the I gotta hurry up and I gotta get this done because of X, Y, and Z, like those like more like grippy anxiety driven wounds. And it's all part of it. So this is like the wrap up piece, because I know your brain needs to like settle into something. It's already done. It's already guaranteed. The way you build your business, the way you connect with these kiddos, the way you support your family, your healing journey, it's already guaranteed. The money, the fun, the experiences, the adventure, already guaranteed. The literal only thing you've got to focus on is being aligned more often than you're not. And supporting yourself with that alignment every step of the way. So sharing the stories, like the little tiny stories, because yeah, people are gonna resonate with those bigger stories, sure, but also people resonate with the day-to-day stories a lot easier sometimes, because they're going through the day-to-day. And if they see a story like, oh my gosh, like she felt this way, this is how I feel, and she just went to one meditation and like things changed for her, right? Like that gives them hope on a day-to-day basis, as opposed to, oh my gosh, but this is like a big deep wound, I can't just heal that quickly. It gives them the steps to grasp onto as they participate with the bigger journey with you. How do we feel?
Good.
Good.
Yep.
Good. Yeah, you feel good. I know that there's a lot going on up here. Breathe through it.
Yeah, no, this is really, really helpful.
Yeah. Go make waffles and like get back to it, right? Like you're not gonna write. Yeah. What's that huge story? That huge the one with Lilliput and Tiff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Lilliput?
Yeah, that the Odyssey. You're not gonna write the Odyssey. The first time you sit down at a computer, right? Like it's not going to happen. So have fun.
No one really wants to read it anyway.
Nobody wants to read that. Doesn't make sense. It's too long. So have fun sharing little stories, right? I remember, I could make a story about this. Oh my gosh, my poor baby, he was screaming at the beginning of my call. I knew he was overtired and I knew that I had a call to get on. So I made this decision and I was so proud of myself that I made this decision just to bring him in, just to nurse him and be with my ladies. We had an incredible call. On the other side of this, they got to see me being a mom. The baby got to poop. Like it's all of it. My wildest dreams just came true because I made the decision to pick him up, right? Like not a big story in the grand scheme of things, but if I can share that story in a way that it can help somebody, awesome. It doesn't matter what the story is, as long as you feel connected to it and excited about telling it. And I am excited that you pooped. I really, truly am. I am. Oh. Final questions, Cal, or you feel good?
Good.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
Tiffany, what's happening? Where are you? Are you doing yoga? Are you planting? Hold on, you're muted. Unmute. Oh, I don't think I can. There you go.
Yeah, you can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
Are you planting? What are you doing?
I am. I'm planting.
That's amazing. Why are you planting?
Because I've had these poor plants in my backyard in the little tray from the nursery for like 3 weeks, and they keep like wilting over because I'm not watering them. And then I water them and I'm like, please perk back up. And then they do. And so I decided we're going to get a ton of rain from that hurricane. So I was like, let me get them in. The rain will be nice. So
baller. I love that. Oh my gosh. There's so many calls that I've had for coaching calls that it's like the number of things I have done on the other side of the calls, especially group calls, because you can still take it all in, but you can still get so much feel good stuff done. It's awesome. Go girl. And I feel like digging in the dirt right now is pretty like representative of like
spot on for me. Yeah.
Yeah, like we're kind of living the metaphor, aren't we?
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like I'm at this point now where I've done a bunch of things that I wanted to do and like laid a really good foundation. Like I'm meditating a lot and that feels really good.
Yeah.
I've set like pretty decent boundaries around work and just like decided to let things go and like believe people when they tell me I'm doing a good job and all of those things.
I love that you're just saying this so flippantly because I'm like, this is like a year's worth of work. I'm so proud.
I know, but it's
saying these sentences.
I know. But it doesn't, again, though, it never feels like enough, right? Which is probably the root of my shit. So, oh, sorry, baby.
Go ahead and do something.
So, you know, like I signed up for this yoga teacher training course, which is going really well. Like I've made space for all of these things, right? Like my house is really like neat and decorated and like feels more homey, which like the house has been a thing too. So that's been really great. But like, I still, so like I have all of these things and I not have all these things, but I've done all of these things and I still like don't feel any different necessarily. Like I know I do, but I guess I just am constantly feeling, not constantly, but I guess I just feel like I'm not, it doesn't feel like a big transformation.
Yeah.
Or like any big sort of like accomplishments. Because I'm also, so like the other side of that though is like quarantine has helped me to be able to do all of those things. And also I've been doing things, I have been like not kind to myself. Like I've always sort of used food as a comfort. And like I was okay with the comfort eating during a pandemic for like the first 20 pounds. Like I was just like, it's fine. Like I really was fine with it, which is like a pretty big step for me to be like, it's a global pandemic. I feel like this is not the time for me to worry about what I'm eating necessarily in the same way. But like the next 20 pounds are just like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And now I find that I'm like eating obnoxiously when I have feelings and I know that I'm doing it and I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
I know. So I just like, I don't know. I still find myself like, I'm not using the tools that I have.
Yeah.
And then like to top it all off, this weekend, my ex got engaged, which I'm like very happy about. I don't harbor things about it.
Yeah.
Like I wanted the divorce. I'm very happy as a single, like I'm happy with my life.
Yeah.
But his fiance posted this photo of my daughter, like posing with the sign that says like, she said yes. And like said something like, not only do I get the man of my dreams, but I get this amazing little girl for the rest of my life. And I'm just like, okay, so I don't exist. Like, what the hell? So I just have lots of feelings around that.
Yeah.
And I guess I've just been trying to give myself space to like feel them.
Yeah.
Except like I'm not really. You know what I
Well, you're
mean? Like I'm not actually being productive with them. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like, let's just like my new pandemic coping mechanism is going to the freaking grocery store and like buying ridiculous like things. I don't know, cured meats and like 6 different cheeses. Was what I did last night. Like, you know, like I'm just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So, you know, like old coping mechanisms.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was just going to say. Okay. I'm zooming in on this one. Are you ready? Let's do it. Okay. Let's do it. Say, we're ready for you, Tiff. We're ready for you. Here we go. Here we go. Let's do it.
Oh my God, Superman, Spider-Man.
No, Spider-Man today.
He's gonna be my superhero.
He's gonna be your
He's gonna be
superhero.
my superhero. So
All right,
cute.
so like I'm just getting right in there and like you like picture him like holding your face like right in the eyes. You have transformed so much, but because your go-to is it's never enough, what we're doing is were you and I the ones talking about the glass ceiling?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're at the glass ceiling because you have gone through evolution in such an incredible way that now we're at the next level of all of it. And so what we do when we hit a glass ceiling or we feel like we're up against a new saber-toothed tiger is we go back to the foundational stuff. So I love how in one breath you're like, I've done all this stuff, but I don't feel like I've done enough, right? Like, because that's your patterning of just taking yourself out right then and there. So that's number one. Number two, it's like, okay, I've done all this stuff. So what's my go-to to try to slash me down? What's my go-to to try to ensure that I don't go through this all again? And it's food. So there's that fear of, okay, you know how much work you've put in to get to where you are. And so numbing yourself out, taking yourself out at the knees feels easier to you than just busting through that glass ceiling and quote unquote doing it all again.
Yeah.
So I want to remind you of this because this is really important. This is where doing the inner work gets a really, really bad rap. And this is where people literally are like, nope, not doing it, not signing up. I'd rather live in my ignorant, asleep place. And that's not a judgment. That's literally a choice that people make. Because it feels like it's going to be so much forever and forever and ever. But what I want to share with you is from my perspective, right? Because also you can't read the ingredients from inside the jar. So from my perspective, you spent a chunk of time over the past year focusing on sleep, right? Like a huge chunk of time, like months and months and months, to the point that you remember you voxed me, you're like, I don't even want to vox you lately because I just feel like I'm a broken record.
Yeah.
And then eventually you got over it. And I use that lightly, right? Like, but we're not having so much trouble in that area right now, right? Like
no.
that did solve itself. So it was kind of like, you know, the 10-year maid overnight star, right? Like the people that feel like, oh my gosh, they just became an overnight superstar, but it's like, no, you didn't see the behind the scenes work they've been doing for 10 years to get there. So, so I feel like, Tiff, that's your style, is the way you embody and you work through your stuff is I feel stuck, 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 I'm free. But what's actually happening is you're not staying like this. I feel stuck, I feel stuck, I feel stuck, because you feel like you're making zero progress. There is actually an incline that leads to that freedom. But because every day seems so mundane and your focus is so lasered into what's going on, it's hard for you to see it. And I know that I can tell you all day long, like, oh my gosh, this is so freaking huge. But I think your next step in the evolution is really being with the feelings of the incremental changes that happen throughout. I think that's what you're being called to next. And I think that scares you because that feels really daunting right I'm going to stop. How's all that landing?
Like I just need to kind of sit with it, with the progress for a little bit.
Yeah. And also I'm going to say this just like super compassionately and gracefully. You're ready to do that. You weren't ready to sit with anything over the course of the past year because that would make you feel stagnant. And for people like you and I, when we feel stagnant, we feel like we're moving backwards. But
Right.
now you've learned how to go with the ebb and flow. And you're ready for that next level, but you can't trailblaze through it.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think the first piece of, I mean, you've been doing inner work for even longer than when you and I started taking the deep dive, but I know it's been accelerated for you, even though there have been moments where you feel like it hasn't, but it's like the first layer is done. Like you've done it, and it does get easier and easier because what we'll find is that similar patterns will show up and we'll be able to call them out a lot easier. We'll be able to look at the incrementals a lot deeper. Like you're ready for that. And I think that that's what the glass ceiling that you've got to punch through is. It's that next level of like, all right, we may be going through round 2 of a lot of this stuff, but because I know the moves, so let's equate it to a boxer, and I don't speak boxing quite eloquently, but from my perspective, right? So 10 rounds, it's you versus the other dude for 10 rounds, or the other gal for 10 rounds. You might get knocked down in the first round, but the second round, you know the moves she's gonna make. And of course, I'm talking about you versus you, right? Like you're getting that.
Right. Yeah.
You know your patterns. You know what to look forward to. You know that if you throw a cross punch over here, every time you're going to come with the hook punch. And just knowing that is going to prepare you to just be able to duck a little bit sooner in the second round, the third round, the fourth round.
Yeah.
But the patience that's needed is the thing that's, I think, the thing that you've got to say yes to.
Yeah.
As you bust through. Like to me, there feels like there's just got to be a yes from you. Like, and it's got to be a consciously present yes. Like, all right, I'm ready for round 2. And knowing that it's going to flow easier, and knowing that on the other side, there's even more freedom. And that maybe by round 8 or 9, you'll actually be able to say, oh my gosh, look how much I've transformed. It might not happen after the second round, might not happen after the third round. Oh, I know, are you ready for a nap now? But you will be ready to witness that. And I feel like that's your unicorn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right.
You are loud, baby. You loud, baby. Yeah, that throat chakra is nice and clear. I love it. Let's face this way for a second. See if that helps. Oh, look. There's Wally. Say hi. How do you feel, Tiff? What's coming up?
Good. I mean, I think that's right. It's just not a natural like thing for me. So
Yet, I'd say maybe round 2, maybe round 3, maybe round 4, it'll start to feel more and more natural.
yeah.
I think it's so pertinent that you're doing physical activity right now. And also, let's just call the food thing what it is. Yes, coping mechanisms. Yes, defense mechanisms. Yes, self-sabotage. And also, on a physiological level, when you have been eating sugar or fats like cheeses or meats for so long, your body physiologically craves it. So there does take that commitment to like a hard break in the cycle. And you know me, I have done the either or for too long and it doesn't work. but to switch things up, there's gotta be like that hard, like cutting of ties for a little bit
Totally.
to cut that addiction, right? Like your cells get addicted.
100%. Yeah.
So that's just
Absolutely.
going to be a yes too when you're ready. And maybe it's after you eat your cured meat and cheeses. Maybe it's right now. Maybe it's September, right? Like you pick a time. You pick a time. And then you say,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to give my body, because I've been doing such a good job of meditating my body, of yogaing my body, of moving my body. I'm going to take taking care of my body to the next level by cutting these addictions off.
Yeah.
Can you guys even hear me?
Yeah.
So loud. That was loud. That was loud too.
Thank you.
Helpful?
Yeah.
Good. Good. Hey, I'm ready for round 2 if you are. Just do this. Just do it. Say cross punch, hook, uppercut. Yeah. Does anybody have anything else that you need? Anything that you heard in another area? You guys good?
I mean, I feel like I don't have anything, but I want to have something because there's 6 more minutes of like soaking up what you know.
That's all right. Sometimes the abundance gets found within 54 minutes, right? Like sometimes that's where it is, and being willing to witness that is a cool little lesson. I mean, we could listen to this for 6 more minutes if you want. That's an option.
Just for that quick little comment, like, is the lesson you said, like the abundance is the lesson, and like,
Yeah, maybe the abundance isn't about the length of time, but in the lessons that it was, right? Or what, maybe the abundance is what was meant for today, right? Like it doesn't have to be, we said an hour, so we're doing an hour. Sometimes it's an hour and 10 minutes. Sometimes it's 50 minutes, right? And like each of you, like I've had different experiences. I have some one-to-one clients that at 40 minutes were like, we can't do any more today because it was all found right there. So, yeah.
cool. All right, can you say bye?
Bye, buddy. All right. Box me what you need,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Love you guys. Wow.